All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful way of looking at success. It's all built on one simple but honestly game-changing idea. What happens when you make the decision to leave average in the rearview mirror for good? If you've ever had that feeling that you're capable of more, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's start with this quote because it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. It's not just about, working hard. It's about a very specific kind of diligence that leads to a very specific outcome. The promise here is simple. If you truly master your craft, you'll earn a place among the best, no matter where you start it.
So that brings up the big question, right? What does that diligence actually look like in our world today? Because it's not about just being busy for the sake of being busy. The source material argues it's a deep, unwavering commitment to being genuinely competent and having a real passion for going way beyond ordinary standards.
First things first, we've got to identify the main obstacle in our way. The source material actually gives it a name. It calls it an enemy. And that enemy? It's the whole mindset of being average. It's that dangerous little idea in the back of our heads that good enough is, well, actually good enough.
You see, mediocrity isn't always about some spectacular failure. It's way more subtle than that, and honestly, probably more dangerous. It's the comfort of just being in the crowd, that lack of any real desire to push past what's ordinary. And like it says here, it might not be bad, but it will absolutely never lead to greatness.
And this slide just lays it out in black and white, doesn't it? It's a choice. On one side, you've got the crowded, comfortable path of mediocrity. And on the other, you've got the path of excellence, which, leads to some pretty exceptional places. They are two completely different journeys with two very different destinations.
So if mediocrity is the enemy, what's the solution? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The source material presents excellence as an active force. It isn't just a quality you have. It's something you do that literally pulls success right to you. It acts like a magnet.
And what does this magnet attract? Well, it pulls in the three things that are essential for any kind of major success. It brings the right people into your world. It draws in opportunities that other people just don't see. And it attracts the resources. We're talking funding, tools, support, all the stuff you need to build something truly great.
Now, this brings us to a super important distinction. We live in a world that is obsessed with qualifications, and it's so easy to confuse having a certificate with being genuinely good at what you do. But as we're about to see, they are not the same thing. Not at all. Here's the bottom line. Your certificate, your degree, your credential, that gets your foot in the door. It might land you the job, but its power pretty much ends right there. It is your competence, your actual ability to deliver high-quality results predictably that gets you promoted and earns you that seat at the table with the greats.
Okay, let's make this concrete. There's a fantastic story from the source material that just proves this point beautifully. It shows how true value works in the real world, and it often completely defies what we think we know about price. So the story is about this tailor who charged twice as much as anybody else in his town. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a terrible business plan, right? Why on earth would anyone pay double? I mean, it's a totally fair question, isn't it? In a market with lots of options, why would a customer willingly fork over that much extra cash? The answer to this question, well, it reveals everything about the real power of competence.
And here's why. The client had been burned before by incompetent tailors. You know the type, people who wasted his time, ruined expensive fabric, and delivered sloppy work. So paying double for the excellent tailor, it was actually a bargain. It saved him the massive cost and headache of dealing with 200 mediocre ones.
And this table just nails the long-term reality of it all. See, incompetence costs you so much more than money. It costs you opportunities, it costs you your reputation. True competence, on the other hand, it builds this loyal following of clients who aren't just shopping for the cheapest price, they're looking for the best, most reliable outcome. And that's the thing. Ultimately, your work becomes your best advertisement. All the money you might spend on marketing to 100 people is so much better invested in just delivering an absolutely excellent outcome for one person. Trust me, that one happy client will bring you more business than any ad campaign ever could. Okay, so let's get practical. Knowing all this stuff is great, but how do you actually start building competence in your own life? Well, the source material lays out a very clear two-step path to start that journey. The key thing to get is that you don't build competence in a vacuum. It all starts by finding a reference, a model of what success looks like.
and then you just diligently study the standard they operate by. You have to have a benchmark to aim for.
So, what do we mean by a reference? It's a person who really embodies what you aspire to be in your field. It could be a leader, an artist, a coder, an entrepreneur, doesn't matter. Their work becomes your case study. Their standard of excellence becomes the ladder that you start to climb.
And this part is absolutely critical. The quality of your reference determines the height of your ambition. Think about it. If you pick a mediocre reference, you're going to hit that ceiling really fast and just stop growing. But if you choose a world-class reference, you give yourself a world-class standard to chase after. All right, let's bring this all home and turn this whole framework into a simple, actionable challenge for you. It's time to go from just understanding these ideas to actually applying them in your life. So, let's do a quick recap of the biggest takeaways. 1. Mediocrity is the enemy. Don't forget it. 2. Excellence is a magnet for success. 3. It is competence, not credentials, that gets you ahead. 4. True quality can literally make price irrelevant. And finally, number 5. Your entire journey starts by finding the right reference. And that leaves us with one final, and I think very powerful question. It really is the most important first step you can take on this path. In your field, in your career, in your life, who is your reference for excellence? Give that some real thought, because that answer, it could change everything.